I thought about this after I read it on your thing. I don't know the answer to that one, lady. Nobody has a problem with that. It's like, yeah, that's like Jews don't do the work. Get the Goyim to do the work for us.
I remember when Greg Leake said he'd carry your bags if maybe you have a picture up at the airport, because remember you went on that thing that the non-Jews are around to carry our bags.
That's what non-Jews are for, lady.
Exactly.
God created non-Jews.
But they also have some other special abilities, but this is a family show.
Yeah, well, they have the 7 laws, and then the 8th law is that they should slop our bags. And they should clean our dishes, because like Jews don't clean their own dishes. Like that's what they hire the Goyim for.
So why wasn't Bilam shocked that his donkey was talking to him? Like he just like carries on this conversation with his donkey. Is there nothing? There's nothing surprising about his donkey talking to him.
I don't know.
Okay, these are the most.
You know what that is? The person talking was talking out of his ass. Okay, go ahead.
These are the most positive things said about Jews in the entire Bible, and they are said by a non-Jew. So do Jews take the positive things non-Jews say about them more seriously than they take the positive things said about them by Jews? Yes. Jews tend to take the things that non-Jews say about them more seriously. There's respect, and many groups have this. Bilam saw no perversity in Israel. Times have changed.
What have you seen here today? I haven't seen anything.
You haven't seen any perversity in Israel?
Oh, in the state of Israel? You know, with the hookers and the strip clubs? Yeah. Okay.
Why did the Israelites commit harlotry with the daughters of Moab?
We talked about this last year.
Didn't they know that this was not the path to lasting happiness? I too have committed harlotry with shiksas. Now I understand the utter futility of such behavior. It's only fun for the first few decades, and it leaves you feeling empty inside. I've seen a lot of orgies on video. While these people may be feeling physical ecstasy, I can look in their eyes and I can see their souls dying. So
we talked about this last year.
Yeah. So back in 1994, I was with the shiksa in the back of my Toyota station wagon. We were starting to get increasingly friendly. And before she went on to give me a hand job, she said, I have to say a prayer to Jesus. And so she delivered this whole prayer to Jesus, and then she gave me the hand job.
And you were still hard?
Yeah.
I would have just lost everything at that point.
Well,
actually, I would have totally, done it. But see,
so that was like the women involved.
In 1994, you had already started your road to
yeah,
you already denounced Jesus.
Yeah, I know, but
you would denounce Jesus. You were on the road to conversion, become a Jew, and it didn't bother you that you had to wait for her to genuflect before she would.
Not terribly. I mean, it only lasted like a minute. I knew what delights awaited me.
Wow, you really weren't. Okay, I wouldn't. I don't think I could have manufactured a erection.
You're a stronger man than I am.
No, I just would have turned me off.
Okay.
I gotta tell you something. Oh, yeah. I'll save it for another time. Okay, go ahead.
So, the out scroll on Numbers 25, verse 2 is, the Moabite women invited the Jews to feast and to drink with them. When the men became aroused and wanted to cohabit, the women drew their Baal Peor idols from their robes and insisted that the Jewish men bow to them. So like when a man has a woody, most men will basically do anything for like sex. So like you offer a man an opportunity to have sex and he'll bow down to your idol, he'll let you say prayers to Jesus. Like, it's only an exceptional man who won't, do anything to get his rocks off.
I don't know if I agree with that. Right here, I want to just interject something. I know we talked about this last year, but I just want to say it again this year for all the people who are new. When it says that the Jewish men fell for these Moabite women, the Moab women, it was only 24,000 women, 24,000 men that were guilty of this crime. Got to remember, there was 2.5 million people in the desert. 1.25 of them, 1.25 million were men. And let's say, the really younger guys probably weren't.
There were 600,000 adult men.
That's between 20 and 60. But the ones over 60 could have been part of this.
They didn't have Levitra then.
That's a good point. And the ones under 20, you don't think that like a 19-year-old guy could have been part of this?
Well, they grew up in they didn't have HBO, and so they were more innocent.
Okay, so let's just say it's 600,000. We're talking about 600,000. And 24,000 were guilty of this. Do the math, lady. We're talking about 1/4 of 1/6. Okay, 1/4 of 1/6. What's 1/4 of a sixth? What's
How
a
much?
sixth? What's a sixth?
How much? Okay, we said the point.
All right, it's less than 10%. It's like 5% tops. We're talking about a very small percentage of the Jewish men do this. Okay, go ahead.
So our scroll uses the word cohabit for sex. So why do Orthodox Jews have such an aversion to the word sex? You get all this talk about relations and cohabiting and other euphemisms. So like modern Orthodox Jewish literature is far more prudish, far more repressed in this respect than Christian literature. Like evangelical Christians, you know, they're cool with talking about sex. If you go to church, now you'll get hugged by a lot of hot chicks. If you go to shul, you'll likely get hugged by no chicks. When I went to Oratora, which is Reformed for a few years, one Sabbath after lunch we sat around in a circle. We gave each other back rubs. So in many ways, those were better days. You don't tend to get a lot of back rubs in Orthodox synagogues.
Why would that be, Levi?
Because it's against the halacha.
It's against the halacha.
Okay, so the art scroll on Numbers chapter 25, verse 6. In a shocking exhibit of brazenness, the Jew brought his paramour directly to Moses and the elders at the entrance of the tent of assembly and sinned in public view. Moses and the elders wept. I react the same way when people have sex in front of me. I just start crying.
When did you ever see someone have sex in front of you?
When I went to certain movie sets,
Oh, right. What am I asking? Right.
I just like
strike that from the record.
I was just like standing there weeping. Like they didn't even like to have me on set because as soon as they started laughing, I just, you know, my tears just started crying, and I'd collapse to the floor and I'd go Hashem, how long, O Lord? How long will you permit this wickedness? So it made me very unpopular on porn sets.
I got that. Okay.
So do you lose sleep over what Pincus did? Because Pincus took his rod and he just like drove it through their genitals. So sex stirs emotions, and illicit sex can lead to illicit behavior such as violence. Think about all those husbands who lost their mind when they found their wife was unfaithful and they murdered her and her lover, subsequently received reduced sentences because of the adulterous context. So all the years that I reported on the sex industry, I constantly felt like I was walking along a ledge where one side led to madness and death. So sex can like shape the emotions.
Did you want to be like Pinchas back then when you were covering porn and going to the sets and taking a knife and slicing off these people's genitals?
I didn't want to slice off the genitals. I just wanted to interview them.
Okay.
So how should a Torah Jew react today when he encounters some saucy Baal Peor typo who tries to tempt him into immorality? Like what kills me is like when I'm, say, lying on my bed and I'm studying Torah, and then the shiksa comes over and she like stretches herself out, lies on top of me, kind of opens herself up, and she mumbles, "Oh, I'm sleeping, I'm just having a dream, this isn't real, whatever happens, we're just dreaming." And then you start to tell yourself, "Oh, I'm just dreaming, I shouldn't judge myself too harshly here, it's just a dream, I'll just go with the dream." And then afterwards, you're covered in shame.
I hate it when that
I
happens.
hate it when that happens.
I'm trying to learn Torah.
Yeah, like shiksas are so tricky that way. So as I was studying Torah Saturday night, there were all these goyim nearby setting up fireworks, and it was bothering me. I wonder if God will punish them for interrupting a Jew's Torah study.
That is for 4th of July, Levi.
Hey, does the phrase "a great place to raise kids" mean super segregated, aka few black people?
No, I think what that really means, to be honest, I've heard so many people here in LA say it, right? Oh, and LA is no place for kids because it's decadence, right, here in LA, right? It's decadent. And they want to bring somebody up in a wholesome place, right? What does that mean? They want to bring a person up in a place with religious values are instilled. It's a religious values. They're not around people like the porn industry here, right? What they're really saying is they don't want to be around liberals, right? They want to go to one of the red states, and be around a nice, wholesome Kansas, Oklahoma Christian place. That's where you raise kids. Virginia, these kind of places. That's what they're saying.
Okay, so speaking of wholesome, why does HBO thrust so many naked breasts in front of our noses? Shows like True Blood and that Boardwalk Empire and the Game of Thrones.
Oh, fireworks starting lately.
All that. So when will people learn that naked female breasts not the path to lasting happiness? It's much more fulfilling, I found, to study Torah. Because when you gaze at the breasts of actresses, you're wanting what you cannot have. But when you're studying Torah, you're learning commandments you can practice in your daily life and get closer to God. So this woman, Mary McNamara, writes about HBO's